Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Failure Decoded. I'm one of your co-hosts, Rachel, and I'm here with my co-host, Shamsiya. We're very excited to be introducing our guest today, who's from the interior design industry. Shamsiya is going to give her a warm introduction, so why don't you kick it off, Shamsiya?
Hello, everyone. So today here with us, we have the award-winning holistic interior designer, Nora, who's the founder of Live Holy. The company is headquartered in Dubai and Central Europe and works with global clients from the US, Canada, Mauritius, the UK, Middle East, and Europe. The brand is just a year and a half old, and Live Holy has already been featured in prestigious magazines and local news outlets. Nora is extremely attuned to the rising need and demand for sustainable living spaces, green designing, and creates beautiful interiors which are an amalgamation of ancient traditional architectural knowledge systems and futuristic designs, concepts, and sensibilities. And we want to know how she did it all. So let's welcome Nora Benz. Hello, Nora.
Thank you. Hi. I'm very grateful to be here today. Thank you for inviting me.
Yeah, we're very excited to have you here as well. Shamsiya obviously did an amazing job introducing you and kind of gave a good background of your business. But one thing that we're hoping to do for the audience is to give them really actionable advice. So we're wondering, how did you start your company? Like if you think back to like day one, that you're going to start all over again, what would be like the first, 2 or 3 steps that you would take to launch this business?
All right. So at the beginning, when I was thinking to talk about the business, I wanted to introduce it as the start. It was 2 years ago, but then I realized that I want to speak about when I really started it the first time. And that's the first time when I started it, and then I went back to work, and then I restarted it again the next time. So I think it would make more sense to say that. But back in 2018, I felt that I was in a job that I didn't feel that I'm doing most of my, exploring most of my creative part. And I felt that I want to create my own things and do my own projects. So I decided to let go of the job and start doing the design on my own. And that's when it started. And I was living in the Emirates that time. And and I tried to do some marketing. And one of the first things I did was opening an Etsy shop. And I started selling, and I did a couple of sales, but it never really worked that well. Usually I would just sell something at the cost price, and I wasn't able to make it to the next level. And that's when it started. It just started on a very small base, but I used to have always clients. But I didn't know how to make it profitable. I didn't know how to price my projects. And I realized that I needed much more education, much more experience. And I went back to work. And 1 year at work. And after that, I decided I need to study more. And I spent about 6 months studying. And then I launched it again, and that's when it worked, and it's flourishing what it is right now.
That's a really interesting story that you started it, went back to work, and started it again. I feel like that is actually pretty common for entrepreneurs. Like the first time around, it can be very difficult because it's like you don't have any idea what you're doing, right? Nobody does because there's no one there to really show you. You're on your own, and that can feel really lonely and isolating, to be honest. What job did you do in between? Was it something in your industry so you felt like you could learn the stuff that you felt like you were missing at the time?
Okay, that's a good question. The first job I was doing was the first 2 jobs that I did before I started the business was interior design, normal, graduate. I got a job as a junior and then went on the next level. But I was a little bit angry with my director, so I was thinking like I'm not getting what I deserve, and so that made me question my industry, and I thought, am I really here? Like, is it the right choice to be a designer? And at that point I was super angry at my and when I I was very angry at my my specialty and my department at my industry, and so I left the job and I tried to start as I said Etsy, and I did multiple things in this. I did arts and crafts, drawing, because I'm a creative person, so I did all types of creative entrepreneurial jobs. And then because it didn't work, I thought, okay, I will try to completely do something different. And because I'm creative, I thought, okay, I'll try to teach kids art. And maybe you have seen that one of the articles where it's mentioned that I did that there was a time when I had to do that. So I did it in a fun way. First, I just had my own clients. I did like private tutoring for arts and crafts for small kids, and then the kindergarten invited me to be an art teacher. So I went completely off from my industry, but it only lasted few months because I realized in the middle of that work, I realized like I am not in the right place. I'm not in my place. And naturally, I started doing something related to my design industry. So I told the director of the kindergarten, the room looks quite dull, so why don't we paint it? And she said, okay, you can get some paint. And I went and I bought paint and I painted the whole room and I changed the whole atmosphere. And everyone was like so happy about how it's looking. And I realized, I think I'm not in the right place because I was trying to escape the classrooms to go to paint the room. So I realized, okay, that's not my thing to stand and teach. So I need to go back. But I need to study, I need to understand what business, I need to understand how to make money. This is not taught in university, it's not taught in schools. So it's education, it's something we have to focus, just like we focus how to draw floor plans as architects. So fortunately the job I got after the kindergarten was a job related to business. So I was asked to create sort of a department of design. So because I got some experience as an entrepreneur, although it didn't work, but I had enough in my CV to show the strength of an entrepreneur. So I got a job as business development / interior designer, and that taught me so much. And that was a very nice job that lasted 1 year. And I worked so much. I didn't look at the timing. I didn't look that it's 8 hours a day. I just worked as much as I can because I told myself I have 1 year and I'm going to learn everything what it takes about business in this job so that I can do my own business. And and I worked till night times and sometimes weekends. And once it was done, that's when I took a 6 months, as I said, I went to India, and that was one of the best teaching experiences I have. I mean, self-teaching experiences I had. It was an amazing experience where I learned about the ancient Vedic architecture and design, which is like Feng Shui, that's known in Western world, and like all over the world is quite known, Feng Shui. So the Indian way, which is called the Vastu Shastra, it's a beautiful knowledge, and it takes you back to the origin of design and architecture. And you start understanding why we're doing this. We're not just trying to design and make things look nice. It's much deeper than that. And once you understand that you're here to serve others, and that's your deepest vision in life, is you're not just trying to prove yourself and make yourself a name, or it's all about service. Once you understand it's about service and we're all serving each other, then things just fall in a very easy, and beautiful way. And then I also did a diploma in Ayurveda, which is ancient healing of body, physical healing. And that's like alternative medicine. So I did that about 4 months. And that was also extremely important, although it's completely off the topic and different from my industry. But it's about person, you learn about people, you learn how to touch, you learn how to heal. And once you connect with people and you touch and you heal and you have this experience, you understand, because you're serving people and you're doing the interior in your house for people. So these were very important aspects in this 6 months that I learned. And then obviously I read so many books about Napoleon Hill's what's the name of the book? Think and Grow Rich. And so many other books and audiobooks and YouTube videos. I mean, it was endless. So, and one of the most important point was also business coaches in my industry. So not just researching about business in any industry or talking to business people, because your industry is different. There are so many aspects in your how you do your service, how you give it to the client, how you communicate with the client, how you organize payments. It's very different industry to industry, so you can't apply what you learn in selling product in here. It's different. So talking to and working with business coaches in interior design industry. So always asking people that are having experience and older in this industry.
Actually, because I actually want to touch on that a little bit, because I think you brought up a very good point that it is good to find people like mentors. You don't need to necessarily call them a mentor, but someone that's a little bit ahead of you that will help you out. How did you find those people? How did you create relationships with them and essentially get their buy-in, right? 'Cause it's people are very busy. So it's
So at the beginning, maybe I would say university teachers.
Did you offer them something in return?
I think it's good to create a good relationship with university teachers and to nourish it even after graduation. But more than that, university teachers are not business people, but they could still tell you some good advices in your industry. I wouldn't say they are the best ones for business coaching. They would be the best ones in your industry, to give you some ideas about how to handle your project. That's one part. The second part is business coaches in my industry. That's through just research. I mean, simple Google research or Instagram, and
you would just reach out to them. You would just reach out to them. You would just mail them, or hound them.
Yeah.
What would you do?
Yeah.
You would.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, just contact them, and you make a clarity call, or this a quick call to understand if you fit, and they would tell you what's the right coaching service for you, and then you go ahead and agree on
that makes
the best one.
Yeah. Okay. So the university was
fits
more
them.
Wow.
Okay. So right. mentorship.
Yeah,
It was like
business
free,
coach,
right? You
but
just
in
go
your
up and
industry. It has
foster
to be.
relationship with them, but you're saying
Yeah.
coach as well in your industry. So you kind of got both. Okay, cool.
Yes.
And that could actually translate as internship or co-op opportunities, probably, right? Like direct from university to some internship opportunities where you're working in the industry.
I don't know, but one more thing is people that graduated with you. I think it's very important to have as well to share your journey with them. So you would share what you're going through, and they share what they're going through, and then together try to make a solution and help each other.
Wow.
That's the third. I would say that's the third type of coach, because you just call them up, and I mean they're free. I mean as a price wise, but I mean they are free to. It's a free exchange, you know. You tell it what's your issues, and you take each other's opinion, and you can always share your failures because they're going through the same journey.
Wow.
So I would say university graduates that with you, and definitely I want to say that maybe some listeners would say, okay, it's a paid coach, and we're just starting business, and lucky person who can pay the coach. But I was super hesitant to consider a coach myself at the beginning, because I would say, oh, maybe that's just they would just tell me the stuff I already know, or is it really worth it? Is it really gonna make a difference? But in this thing, sometimes investment is so important, because this is a complete investment. I remember one coaching call I did, and by the way, these coaching calls don't end. I mean, it's not something you do on a regular basis, but every time you feel you are supposed to go on the next step, it's like steps on the staircase, and every time you feel okay, I feel the business is ready for the next step, completely ready, but everything I have is not giving that feel of being ready. That's where you feel that I'm ready to transition. That's where the coach is needed. So the coach might be needed in every step, no matter how big is the growth. But that could be annually, that could be every 2 years. It depends how much you want to grow, how big you want to grow, or if you're satisfied. Still, even if you're satisfied, you need a coach, because let's say you're going through, right now, we're going through a phase where things are changing to remotely. And it's important to consult someone who has experience in that, how to go ahead with that. And so a year ago, we did a coaching call that it was a pure investment, because it just after that call, we started applying everything that she said, and then things just started doubling up. I mean, we completely became in a different.
So would you say then that they give you the tools that you need to actually
even
grow
the value
to get
we
to the next
started
level,
providing
or
was much
is it
stronger?
more like you said, kind of getting clarity? Because I think a lot of times people get kind of caught up and they don't know what's the next step to take, so they just don't take any action, which is obviously you're not going to grow if you don't take any action. So what do you think is the best thing you get from the coach? Is it actual tools that you apply, or is it truly just more getting clarity and figuring out what the next steps are that you need to take?
I would say number one, this is my personal experience, is criticism, because nobody will criticize you. Everyone will say wow, you're doing very nice. Oh, what a nice website. Nobody will tell you. And I mean, your friends, you tell them, please tell me. Nobody will tell you. A coach, you get on a call and she will start hitting every bad thing. I mean, what's this background? What's this camera? Where are you? I don't know, like all the stuff, you know, that you need, or like, what's this website? Why did you put it this way? Why is the logo this way? You know, I mean, she will review everything and she will start going to the deepest questions that you would be like kind of hiding from yourself and from others, like maybe your profit, for example. And you kind of like, oh yeah, I'm making good money, but all this money, it's going away. I mean, it's just going away to your employees, to your costs, and nothing is left for you. But you would be ashamed maybe to say that, and the coach would like, she would keep asking to get to know what's exact profit, you know, and she will make you see yourself. That's the most important in a coach, because as an entrepreneur, you're by yourself. So you don't have a director to tell you, go left, go right. I mean, you're completely yourself. So whatever you hide from yourself, I mean, you take the responsibility of it. Whatever mistakes you do, and you will try, like,
that's really interesting.
As a person, you want to try.
So just like brutal honesty.
So the coach will make you see yourself. I think that's the most.
Yeah, it's very interesting. And I like that service. I mean, I'm really trying to look into some, similar equivalent consultancies that could be available to the Western people here, or, it's amazing. Like, you can just have someone to talk to and run your ideas and show them your business plan, show them the cash flow statements, and not be worried, about anything else, just getting the feedback, positive, negative, everything. I think that's amazing. But Nora, I have to ask you this. You seem to have figured it all out. Did you have to go through something tough to figure this out? Did you face the challenges? Because you have like a protocol in place. Was it always like this? Or were they failures? Were they challenges that helped you navigate to this part of your life?
I don't think I figured it all out. I think it's a journey. It's a journey, and always there is like challenges. Always there's something. So that's 100%. I mean, of course, challenges come in. So I think the best companies are the ones that always improve. So, but I mean, we have a recent challenge where our company Instagram was hacked and then disabled by Instagram. And so now we're left without it, and we try to do everything to get it back, and it didn't work. So we are like working.
Did you have a lot of followers? Like, is it really hard to get it back?
In a different way, and that's a challenge right now. I mean, and I mean, we invested in a social media manager as well, who grew it and put some efforts, and now it's just gone, and we tried everything, and we so at the end we just have to face it, and the problem is that there is no time, because we have so many projects to meet the deadline with clients. So I mean, this is one of the challenges right now as we speak, and we kind of put it on a hold because we are working on projects. So we have to work on projects, and once.
So do you find your clients through referrals, would you say, or do you focus a lot on marketing? Because obviously you lost your Instagram, which really sucks a lot, but it sounds like you have a lot of people right now, right? So are you trying to get referrals for them to build your client base?
Yeah, it's mostly referral. I wouldn't say that Instagram is. I actually didn't feel any difference when it was gone. I was kind of scared and worried, but I like, interestingly, I didn't feel any difference with or without it, and that's a nice, interesting experience. Actually, it makes me revise and rethink about it. But yeah, it's mostly referrals. It's good relationships, building a good, honest relationship. It's about honesty. It's about making everything that to make the client happy. I mean, to keep the kindness and professionalism, to keep the promises, and also I think like big part of it is we are not like 100% like commercial driven, so we're quite flexible, I think, with clients. So we want to make them happy. We wouldn't like, for a small thing would say, okay, you have to pay that extra, or that's an add-on. We're kind of like flexible, so we yeah, I mean, our services are we have a structure, but for little things, we're quite flexible. We want to make the client happy, and so that's what makes the client refer us and recommend us. And but also through our website. So our website does a good job being found, and also through interior design platforms like House.
Is it like a marketplace or something? Like you can post your services and people will go there and find you?
It's a famous website for design industry and furniture. It's not a marketplace. It's I don't know what's the best word to use for it, but sometimes people go for it just for inspiration, or if you want to buy products. I mean, it's a big website for everything related to design industry. So
it's like a database. Yeah.
It's called. Yeah, sort of. Yeah.
So,
but you can create your company. Also, you can create your company profile.
Nora,
Yeah.
I mean, it's amazing. Like in this world of changing, dynamics, you are handling this business, and it's a global business. I want to understand how that works. It's not easy. It's not like you're sending virtual products. You're not sending Amazon products. This is like a whole house, the whole interior. How do you manage that? What's your business model like?
Like, how do I manage multiple projects, or how do I manage
if you're in Europe,
project?
How do you serve your clients who are in the Middle East? How does that work? Like, do you have people, or you subcontract work, or you have, how's that process,
Well, if it's design only, depends on the client requirement. So if we are doing design and build, obviously I have strong contacts of contractors and builders that we are always in communication with. And if the project requires my attendance, I go and visit. But also there are designers that are there that I work with. So they are also available to review the project. But usually I would travel. So I would travel and review. But for example, I mean, there are projects, like for example, actually I did a restaurant in Canada a few years ago, and it didn't require my attendance. I mean, especially commercial projects, they don't really require attendance. I mean, I think we provide enough information to the client that he can just give the whole package to the contractor, and contractor knows exactly what to do, because drawings are very detailed and specification, so it's very detailed package.
So how did you scale up to all these different cities? It's like very impressive that you're you are
anything. He just
truly a global company,
and he can do it.
Yeah, how did you find those clients? Like, were you nervous to, get involved in all these different places, or how did you kind of face that? Was there any fear there for just expanding on such a global level, like so quickly too? Because you are still such a new company.
Yeah. I think nervousness is always there. It's also exciting. So it's both. But how did I do it? I think it's growing relationships. I mean, building good relationship with people. That's how it goes mostly. Good relationship with contractors as well. I mean, to never like think that just to keep a light talk. I think you can keep a talk with everyone, like keep a relationship with everyone, like. But even if it doesn't mean that you have to be extrovert. I consider myself quite introverted, but I still.
Yeah, do you have strategies for that? Because I'm definitely an introvert too, so I totally get it. Like,
people
I can be pretty good one-on-one, but sometimes it's hard for me to kind of put myself out there. So do you have any strategies for how you manage those relationships? Like, how do you keep in touch with people, or how do you really create like true connection? Because it's like one thing to have someone on LinkedIn, but it's a total another thing to actually have them trust you and like create a good working relationship with them for like the long term.
One of the things I do as introvert.
Are we on one call for today?
I schedule more than one call a day. So if I schedule more, it will be heavy. So yes.
Yes, but this is the second interview of the week.
Yeah, it is a second interview. So, but I would also try not to do it daily. So if there is a call today, tomorrow would be a very a focused design-based day. So it would be quiet with music and just designing. So, or like discussing with my team how they would put things together. So it would be something like that. That's one of the ways I manage. In terms of keeping relationships, yes, in LinkedIn, you are right. LinkedIn is, I think LinkedIn people are always communicating, right? I did notice that if you just have your profile on, you'll find like people talking themselves on LinkedIn. Because they are trying to like sell products and stuff like suppliers and contractors. And yeah, I actually have a very good client that came from a supplier who sells lights. So I mean, as a designer, okay, I just want to clarify it again. As a designer, you would always find like suppliers and contractors looking for you. So they would like try to communicate with you. And I think these relationships not taken for granted shouldn't be like considered as, oh, okay, these guys are just trying to market and sell, and I don't have time for that. I mean, you can also talk to them, and they could also be a source of your clients. That's personally one of the things that I found for myself. So a really, really good client I have from meeting once, making time to meet a supplier who sells light. And then that supplier, he was supplying light for Royal Palace, and the person working in the palace said, "Do you know a designer?" And he referred me to him. And since then, I am working with him already 4 years, and he has also recommended me to a client who is in Mauritius. And the client who is in Mauritius, we have done so many projects now for him, all his commercial shops and everything. So it kind of goes like this. It's very interesting. But I mean, while I'm talking, I just realized that yes, the client who is in Mauritius is actually originally from another client who I did for in Emirates, also restaurants. And that client originated from a supplier who's selling lights. So I think these are one of the ways. I think always talking about what you do. You don't have to brag, but I mean, if you're in any social situation, just sharing. Because I mean, as long as you realize that this is a service, you're serving others. It's not about you. Forget about yourself. There is no you. It's not I'm trying to grow as a designer. I'm just here to serve. So if you're in any social situation and you're talking to people, there is a way to help. So you might find yourself helping out without even thinking about money. And something also that sometimes is important is not always everything has to be money, and everything is. You could do so much help, and that would refer you to another person. And sometimes you would do a very small project that has zero profit, and it's just a cost. And you do it so nice that this brings you hundreds of clients that will pay it off. I also want to just mention, because this is something I notice in young designers who sometimes I try to hire. They would think that putting a price and making it also commercial without even realizing that there is still ahead a lot of there is a long road for them to learn and study, and they think to put a price before even thinking about the project, and then they realize they are not even capable to do this project, but they think about the price first. But I don't believe that. I mean, once you want to start, I don't think you should think about the price. You think about it later once you build and you're doing really good quality work. And to find quality in this day and age is difficult, because internet is open and everyone is.
It was a really great insight that you shared too about just being able to talk about yourself and what you're doing.
That's one of the things.
I think for a lot of people, it does feel like bragging. It makes them feel just icky. It doesn't feel nice. But you're totally right. You do have to share your story with others, and I think if you can make it feel like it is service to others, right? It's not all about money. I think if you can come to that understanding, you will be able to talk about what you're working on more. So I think that's really great. And do you have any strategies for how you talk about your business to others? How would you sell it to someone else in that kind of frame of mind that you shared?
I'm not good at selling. I don't try to sell. I don't know. I have a difficulty to talk about myself as well. I mean, I don't talk. I'm not sure how to answer that. But what I'm just trying to say is just to serve, just to be open to serve right now. And maybe the person wouldn't even know that you have a design company or you're a designer, but you're serving. With the things
that's great. I think that is how you build authentic connection, right? That's more real than transactional. So that's great.
You would ask
that's awesome.
And then you would just answer.
So Nora, do you have a team that helps you with? I'm guessing you have a huge team. So you have a team, but also what was the first investment that you went in? Do you need a lot of money to handle the first project? This is an advice for the young entrepreneurs in your industry.
No, you don't need a lot of money. You just need to organize it well. Put things in place, organized, and to make sure that whatever you promise to the client, you deliver. But it's not really that much about investment. I wouldn't say it's investment.
And the team that you have, so that's important, right?
Yeah, of course, yeah. I mean, you can't do it all yourself. And the thing about design industry, this is specific to the design industry, is that, and it took me time to realize this, because I used to think, okay, someone is designer, it means they design. No, but it's not like that. Whoever graduated design, they specialize. Some specialize in technical construction drawings, and they are amazing at that. But they have nothing to do or understand about design aspect, about creativity, about ideas. That's another person. And the person who is creative and has ideas wouldn't be able to do construction drawings in a really professional way. And the person who does 3D, for example, like 3D visuals, he is just 100% like a 3D person. Like he doesn't think about any other stuff or like the practicality. There should be another person who is practical, kind of on top of that 3D person, who would tell him like a chair comes below a table, or I don't know, like very, very like practical stuff. Because the 3D person is sort of like living in a unrealistic world. So you need all these people, you know, a mix of all these people to be able to create a project. But you can do it all, but you will be very slow and you would take one project at a time. And I mean, there's nothing wrong with it. There are people that are doing that and they enjoy that. So it really depends on, I think, your goals, because there is absolutely nothing wrong in being a one-person company, two-person company, 100% company. It depends on your goal. It depends on how you want and what you feel comfortable in. And if you're one person and you feel comfortable doing it all A to Z, but you're happy inside and you're satisfied and the clients are happy, that's all that matters. So it really depends. But in my experience, this is how it goes. It's always you need a team to be able to realize these projects. And because if you're taking 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 projects, a person who is drawing construction, let's say he would be drawing construction drawing for this project. Meanwhile, the 3D person is free. He would be doing the other project. A third person.
You can scale quicker.
So it
sounds like because if you collaborate, you can scale much quicker, which totally makes sense. Yeah.
There are multiple projects, and you're growing. Yes.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Amazing. I mean, I felt like I learned so much, such valuable strategies and insights, and I just have to write it all down. I mean, what do you think, Rachel?
You're an introvert and you only take one call per day. I think that's actually a really great strategy, because I totally agree. Like, introverts can get burned out very quickly by like social interaction. So it's just like knowing how you work is such an important insight to have to like really protect your energy, right? Because you are pulled in so many different directions. You really have to like set those boundaries. So I think that was like a great tip. But before we head out, we want to give you a chance to plug anything. If you want to tell the audience where they can find you, or like, you know, we'll put a link to your website, but and I know unfortunately your Instagram was hacked and taken away, but if there's anywhere else that the audience can find you, this is your chance to kind of plug yourself. You got to talk about yourself. Sorry, I know you don't like to, but and it's liveholy.com, right? So it's LIVHOLY.com.
To have a look, and then on the website there are like
LI. Okay.
Yes.
Sorry.
HOLI.
LIVHOLI.com.
Yes.
Sorry.
LI.
So you got to repeat that, Rachel.
LI.
That's good.
And on the website, there are 2 buttons, Messenger and WhatsApp. I think that's the easiest way to like communicate if somebody just want to pop in and ask a question, because there will be young entrepreneurs. Perhaps somebody has a question. I'm very open to talk and help and give ideas.
Wow, awesome. I mean, thank you so much. Thank you for taking the time to chat with us. We really appreciate it, and for sharing your advice. It was great to hear your story. We really appreciate you sharing it with us.